This is wild China. Our exploration of China begins in the warm subtropical south. On the Li River, fishermen and birds perch on bamboo rafts, a partnership that goes back more than 1,000 years. This scenery is known throughout the world, a recurring motif in Chinese paintings, and a major tourist attraction. The south of China is a vast area, 8 times larger than the UK. It's a landscape of hills, but also of water. This man-made landscape is one of the most amazing engineering feats of pre-industrial China. It seems as if every square inch of land has been pressed into cultivation. Growing rice needs lots of water. But even in the rainy south, there are landscapes where water is surprisingly scarce. This vast area of southwest China, the size of France and Spain combined, is famous for its clusters of conical hills, like giant upturned egg cartons, separated by dry, empty valleys. This is the karst, a limestone terrain which has become the defining image of southern China. Karst landscapes are often studded with rocky outcrops, forcing local farmers to cultivate tiny fields. The people who live here are among the poorest in China. Dawn over the karst hills of Guilin. These remarkable hills owe their peculiar shapes to the mildly acid waters of the Li River, whose meandering course over eons of time has corroded away their bases until only the rocky cores remain. The Li is one of the cleanest rivers in China, a favorite spot for fishermen with their trained cormorants. The men, all called Huang, come from the same village, now in their 70s and 80s. They've been fishermen all their lives. Before they release the birds, they tie a noose loosely around the neck to stop them swallowing any fish they may catch. Chanting and dancing, the Huangs encourage their birds to take the plunge. Underwater, the cormorant's hunting instinct kicks in, turning them into fish-seeking missiles. Working together, a good cormorant team can catch a couple of dozen decent-sized fish in a morning. birds return to the raft with their fish because they've been trained to do so. From the time it first hatched, each of these cormorants has been reared to a life of obedience to its master. The birds are, in effect, slaves. But they're not stupid. It's said that cormorants can keep a tally of the fish they catch, at least up to 7. So unless they get a reward now and then, they simply withdraw their labor. The fishermen, of course, keep the best fish for themselves. The cormorants get the leftover tiddlers. With its collar removed, the bird can at last swallow its prize. Best of all, one it isn't meant to have. These days, competition from modern fishing techniques means the Huangs can't make a living from traditional cormorant fishing alone, and this 1,300-year-old tradition is now practiced mostly to entertain tourists.